They're at 515K, 3% up. But first, before we look at our main stocks, what's happening in the local index? We're seeing a dip at 6.1, right? But then if the market continues to be weak, we can have a retest of the 6K level. So now we're just gonna have two scenarios here, whether that be a hold on the 6K if the market is strong, but if the market is fragile, then we can go at a lower dip, 5.8 or below. So the key here is to still focus on names that are giving good dividends, or names that, despite weakness in the global scene or in the local economy or government, we want to find names or businesses that would continue to have strong earnings regardless. So this is definitely something to consider. If the market continues to be weak, if we retest 6K or even break that and go below 5.8, then we need to make sure that we have bullets to hold. We have bullets to buy back stocks that are solid, or we must ensure that our stop losses, we must follow them if the trend suddenly breaks. Okay, so how do we apply that in our portfolio? We've got 515K, so we're in a profit. So even if the market goes lower, looking at our holdings, we've got some leaders here. So we're lucky we have Converge. So as long as this is above 1850 or 1820, then this is still good for me. Our average is at 17.70, so we can put a wide stop here, right? Even if I'm looking at this on the medium term, so even if it dips 1850 or 18, we have a big allowance. But of course, the micro profits would dwindle if it goes lower, so we have to manage. Maybe if there's weakness here below 1870 or 1850, I might trim some, but let's see. So Cebu Pac, we're in profit, and then Meralco. So let's look at the charts one by one. Okay, let's start with Cebu. So actually, this is what I'm talking about, that this is what I'm saying when even if we have a weak macro global market starting to dwindle, or the PSEI having some minor dips or weakness, you've got stocks that are still performing strongly. So Cebu Pac, we're lucky here that it continues to make a mini breakout here, 34 plus. So all I have to do now is to just hold on this position, or maybe if Converge goes weaker or MER, I can switch some to SEB. Let's see. If this continues, I can probably add a bit just to make sure my weights are on the stocks with momentum. Okay. So by the way, before we go to Converge, one thing you have to take note of is the weakness in the S&P 500. So this is one of the most crucial indices in the world. And as we said in the past weeks of live in Investa, we're not bullish in the US markets, on the US markets. So we're seeing a continuation of the sell down here. So the mini recovery was just fake. And it seems like the US market is gonna continue to go lower. So from here, you've got the pocket here in 5.4, but then the lower level would be a 5.2 to 5,000 range. So that's around, say, 5 to 10% dip. Okay, so just so you know, even though we're decoupling against the US, even though Asian stocks have become more resilient and stronger, it's still prudent to know about what's happening in the biggest market in the world, right? So we've got a potential downside here of 5 to 10%. Let's take a look at oil. Okay, so it's moving according to our expectation. So 70 is a strong resistance. Let's hope that this goes lower, continues on its breakdown here. So if it's unable to hold 70, then we can I'm looking at it to break 65 and then go lower to 60s. Okay, now let's go and check our other stocks. So Converge. So actually, you're gonna see here. So in our portfolio, so in InvestaTrade, you can track your performance. So we didn't start with a profit since, of course, we were still buying. There's commission costs and minor volatility. But then the past 2 weeks, we've been in profit. So not bad. And you can look at your stats here or dividends. So I still have dividends coming from MER. So now let's take a look at Converge. So for those asking, we have real-time charts and data here in InvestaTrade. You can try out one of the most seamless and powerful platforms in the Philippines. There's no minimum. You can just open an account, check it out in investa.trade. So we've got a legitimate breakout with high volume here, then got significant dividends for a growth stock. You're getting good enough dividends here. So it's either Converge, if it's really strong, it shouldn't go below 1850 anymore. But there's always, since if we're expecting the global market to be weak, then there may be lower dips, like a retest to 18 or something. That's the more bearish scenario. But otherwise, if this is really strong, I'm just looking at it to make a flag or a mini triangle here and then just go continue. Hopefully, since this is our biggest position. But either way, let's see. And we'll just react how the market moves. Okay, then let's take a look at Meralco. So our average is at 509. We get a 13 peso dividend here. I haven't received it yet. And if you look at the structure, it's just a breakout with a retest, almost the same as Converge. So basically, I'm sticking at stocks with basic setups. Like these are clean breakout setups. So despite the market being weak here, like near the lows, right? You got MER and Converge doing the opposite, making new highs and then having high volume breakout setups. So ideally for me, this doesn't go below 500 anymore. And then we're just gonna hold. Okay, so not much to do in our portfolio. I'm showing here the reality of how to balance position trading, or it's like semi-investing. We're picking fundamental names. Good growth stocks, good dividend stocks, or stocks that are heavily undervalued. So all of these are backed by fundamentals and good financial basis. Then we also analyze the charts. So we look at these several factors. And then as you can see, this is the 4th week of updates, and we're basically not doing intraday or day trading. We're just chilling out. So this strategy can work for the busy people. So it's just a matter of picking your stocks, right? Then picking your position at the right price at the right time. So that's it for our weekly update. And apologies if we're still in maintenance, but we're doing our best to get back in track. And we hope for your patience. But for the meantime, you can just open an account in InvestaTrade. So we're partners with Investor Securities. Then you're gonna be able to access your portfolio statistics and be able to have easy buy and sell transactions here in the platform. And you can continue to monitor the market. And there's no minimum, so it's open to different levels of traders. So that's it for our update. Thank you for watching. See you again next week.